Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're working back on the 52 Chevy, back inside the cab, finishing up the top of the seat riser. By finishing up the top of the seat riser, I mean we're going to take some of this 1/8 inch, 1/2 inch wide flat bar, and we're actually going to cap off the entire top of the seat riser so there will be no more sharp edges. So most of the top of the seat riser is going to be this 1/2 inch flat bar. For the edges, for the passenger side and the driver's side edge, we're probably going to use the 1/8 inch steel plate that we have, or the 11 gauge steel that we use for the floor. We got some scraps left over. We're just going to cap off the ends right over here. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so you can see what we're going to be working on. So let's get to it. All right, so check this out. This is the actual armrest from the middle of the Mini Cooper. And look how close we are. We're actually off maybe about an inch. We're a little bit wider than the actual Mini Cooper. So this, I could probably separate these bars right here just by pulling them and getting that armrest to actually fit between the two seats. So that's kind of cool. If we stick with this, I don't know, I might do actual entire different center console right down the center here. But we do have this as an option. So we're gonna get this out of here right now so we can work in here. But right now you can see the top of the seat riser right here is really sharp from where we cut it off. So I'm gonna use this flat bar here, this stuff. I'm gonna cut it to fit between the seat bars here, the bars we just welded in the last video. So we're gonna put it down here, we're gonna weld it in here, all the way around in all these different sections. And then the ends here, the ends right here, we're gonna cap this entire section off using that 11 gauge steel that we use for the floor right here. We've got some left over. So we're just gonna use a paper template and mock it up right in here and then weld that nice and smooth so that'll be all capped off right there. When the seat slides forward, you have a little bit of storage underneath the seat here. The computer's probably gonna go underneath the passenger seat over there. And we're gonna cap off all these all the way around, front and back, and the sides. So we're gonna work on that right now. So I'm just gonna take this right out. It's actually kind of a neat little armrest. It's a little padded on the top here. Got a little storage inside here if we need that. So we might use it, we might not. I might do a whole new console in the center. Once we get the seats bolted in place, we'll know how wide we can have a console. Then we can head up to the junkyard, figure out what would fit with the tape measure, either buy it from the junkyard or then go on eBay and find ones in really nice shape. So I don't know, we're gonna get this out of there right now, get working on the inside. So I think we're just gonna start in between the seats and around there. We'll do the end caps last. The inside here should actually go pretty easily, I'm thinking. We're gonna weld them into place, then round off the edge with the flap wheel on the grinder. The only hard part will be getting in close to the bars, but I have the 1/2 inch belt sander, we can get in there for that. So I think the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna start marking and cutting these. Grab a marker, we use the cutoff wheel on the grinder, get that situated. The stuff will be really easy to cut because it is so small. Super easy to cut, probably some of the easiest stuff we've cut with this truck so far, other than the sheet metal with the shears. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna measure right here. I'm gonna lay this down right here. This is where it's gonna go. I'm just gonna mark right here where we're gonna cut it. Right there. I'm gonna get that cut right now. And then this will go right in here like this. And then we'll just tack it down along here. And we'll fully weld that into place. Get the welder ready. That's what that's gonna look like. We're gonna weld all the way down along the edge here. Then we'll round it smooth. And it'll be nice and sturdy. Nice lip on there. That'll come out really good. I'm gonna put the camera over on the other side so you can get a better view of what I'm working on. There we go. One section is done. I'll probably use the 1/2 inch belt sander just to touch up the edges, but this thing came out really nice. Nicely rounded off. Not gonna cut yourself on this thing anymore. Nice and smooth all the way around. So we're just gonna continue this all the way around. we go. Next up, we have to do these end caps here. So we're gonna work on making sure these are nice and flat. I know there's a hump right around this section on both of them. Use the flap, it'll smooth that down. We're gonna use a piece of the poster board and make the template for this section here. And then using the 11 gauge piece of steel, we'll cut this out, weld it in place on both ends. Then the seat riser, once we smooth these welds all out, so if we did down there, we're gonna smooth them out with the flap wheel to smoothen these out nice and neat. Seat risers will be completely done. It's coming out really good. I'm pleased with the results. So right now I need to make this as straight and flat as I can. So I'm using the little square here. Just line it up here, and you can see this is high right here. So I'm gonna mark on the inside of here, kind of where we need to flatten this out to. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but you know, get a little bit better. There's a lot to come off right there. So I'm gonna use the flap wheel on the grinder just to shave this down right in this section here. I can see my line I put on the inside to match up with what we want. So it should come down pretty easily. Now I've got a line to go off of. So we're gonna grab my glasses and we're gonna get that zipped down. And we've got our poster board we'll set in here. Actually, I need to get a bigger piece because you know, that's too small now. So I'm just gonna shave this down right here in the hump. There we go. It's gonna come right down along here, along the back here. So now let's get a piece of poster board. And we're gonna cover this with the poster board, mark it where we wanna cut it. Even if it's longer, just wanna get this shape down right. We're gonna weld it all the way along here, grind this section smooth. So when the seat's in here, it'll stick over about here or so. You'll see this all nicely capped off. You won't see anything down there. This will be nice and round off, nice and smooth. And I just need to get a bigger piece of poster board right now to go in here, so let's do that. All right, so here we go. This is gonna go in here like this. Make it relatively flat right there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull it down, come up underneath here and just trace out the best we can where this is gonna go, just like that. Then we'll take this and transfer it over to the actual piece of steel we're gonna use. Let me take the gloves off for this, get my marker ready, position this where we kind of want it. I wonder if I could actually slide this all the way this way. And we'll just say that that ends where the end is, kind of like that. Could just do this too. That's even easier. I mark it when I can just whoop. Don't get any closer than that. Just push down. That's where my cut line will be. You can easily see that. You can see the imprint where I was pushing down on the sharp edge of the top of here. I'm gonna grab my scissors and cut that out. We'll see how close we are. Now we're just gonna cut this out right along this ridge here. Basically, we're just making a cap for this end piece here. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, although the closer we get it, the better. It's gonna look something like that. So I'm gonna transfer this over to the actual piece of steel, which will be a lot sturdier than this. And then it just might require a little bit of finessing around the edges with this. Once we get this shape cut out, we'll just use the flap wheel just to smooth it out where we want it. And then let's go through and we'll get it all in place, weld it fully in place all the way around, smooth it out with the flap wheel. Just grab a piece of steel, trace this out, cut it out. Now to cut this out, we're probably gonna use the jigsaw, just because it'll chew through this really quick. Just have to figure out how to set this up to cut it. Probably do it on a couple 2x4s on the ground actually, or on the welding table. I could clamp it to the welding table and just zing it right along there too. So we're gonna figure that out right now. So on my jigsaw here, I don't know if you can see it, but right here, there's these 3 settings, 1, 2, and 3. And setting 1 all the way down here, the blade is almost perpendicular up and down to the actual metal. On blade 1, 2, and 3, it starts to tilt the blade back more. So it's a severe angle right here. So I found that cutting metal like this, when you put it on 3, when the blade is actually angled and not perfectly up and down, it actually cuts a lot faster and just chews right through the sheet metal or the steel you're cutting. So I'm gonna put on level 3 here to angle that blade backwards. We're gonna get this cut out. Right now I'm using a Lennox blade for medium metal. This is probably considered heavy metal, but it works, so that's what we're going with. I wonder if I can buy new plastic. Probably, I don't know. Comment down below, can you buy new pieces of plastic to go on the bottoms of these DeWalt jigsaws? It's getting a little worn out. You can kind of see that. I'm just curious if I can buy, actually it pops right off, so just curious if I can buy a new piece of plastic only. So comment down below and let me know, can I buy this piece of plastic? Go right to DeWalt and get that. Where do they sell them? There we go, all nicely cut out. So we're gonna take this off the welding table right now and test fit it back into the truck. All right, so right now we're gonna take this and we're gonna fit it back into the truck just like this. This is how we're gonna cap this off. in my mind here. Just like that. That actually looks pretty damn good. The back is perfect. Put a little pressure on it and zip that right down into place like that. We need to come in here and get this down a little bit. Might have to use the cutoff wheel in here to get in that corner. This needs to come down a little bit, the rest will fit. This needs to get shaved up a little bit. So let's do the little shaving on here first with the flap wheel. Perfect. Anything. No, we're gonna say that that's good right there. So we're gonna tack it in up here like this, holding this in place like that. We're gonna come back here, throw a tack in right here, because we know that's nice and flush there. Throw a tack in right here, push this down in there, tack that down. Then we're gonna weld the entire thing into place. That'll be the driver's side cap. All right, now that we're over here on the passenger side, we need to make sure that this seat riser here is nice and straight across, just like we did on the driver's side. We're gonna do the exact same thing we did before, using the square, and just making sure that this is nice and flat across here, which I can already see that it's not, so we're gonna mark it. Let's get this transferred over to a piece of metal and get this cut out. So this will be our template for the passenger side. Fits in here really good. And we'll get this cut out right now over on the welding table. So I've got an 11 gauge piece of steel here. Here's our template for the passenger side. We're just gonna lay this right down on here like this. Line up the template, trace it out. So this is gonna go right in here like this. Look at that, she's a beauty. Needs to come down a little bit on this side. Perfect along here for welding. Actually not bad. Probably trim it up in here a little bit. So right here needs to come down from about here over. So right now we just need to smooth out all of our welds, make everything nice and smooth all around the edges. We'll be 100% done with the seat riser and the seat brackets. The only thing we're going to do in the next video is we're going to paint everything in here with POR 15 to make sure everything's nice and sealed up so we don't get a lot of rust anymore. Now that we got this all nice and cleaned up, we're going to degrease it, we're going to metal etch everything in here, probably do the entire floor, and then we're going to POR 15 everything. So right now we're just going to worry about getting these welds smoothed out. We'll be done with this project. So I got my earring protection because we're going to do a lot of grinding. Got a little N95 mask just because shouldn't be breathing all this crap in. And I got my glasses, so away we go. So what my pad looks like now, after grinding everything down. This is what a new pad looks like. So I think I've gotten my use out of this one. I'm gonna switch over to the new one just to finish everything off. Alright everyone, that's gonna be a wrap for this video. As you can see, we got the entire seat riser completely boxed in. We got the sides boxed in, so you won't see inside or underneath the seats anymore. We got the entire seat frame boxed in all the way around the perimeter, so it's extra sturdy right now. So coming up in the next video, I got some POR 15. I'm gonna show you how to properly apply POR 15 to the entire floor of the truck. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna degrease the entire floor of the truck, then we're gonna metal etch the entire floor, then we're gonna apply one coat of POR 15, which should protect the floor to keep it from rusting in the future. So as always, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, smash that big red subscribe button, smash that bell notification so you know when I do post future videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.